And what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about excuses. So first, let's do introductions. If you don't know who I am, my name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Dressing Room Mate, a coaching and consulting platform for women entrepreneurs, creatives, and women who are just looking for innovation in how they can master obstacles in their life, how they can approach their business or their career in new and exciting ways. And today, I think the subject of excuses is really relevant for all people, but especially for women. If you are looking to progress with a goal, with a project, with a venture, with your career, something you have to really slay for the new year is definitely getting rid of excuses, or like I like to say, the excuse machine. Stop pressing or using the excuse machine. It is not helping ever. And it's probably derailing you more than it's ever, even in your mind, if you ever thought it's helping you, it's a derailment. So let's talk about that. First and foremost, before we get us started, I would love for you to share this video out with your friends, with your family, so that people can join in the conversation. I want you to join in the conversation as I'm talking. If you have certain comments or certain things that you think need to be talked about in conjunction with excuses, please don't be shy. Share away. And let's get to it, okay? So, excuses. What is an excuse? It is an attempt to lessen the blame attaching to a fault or an offense. It is a release from a duty or a requirement. And your personal take on it, I'd love to hear. Put that in the comments. For me, I would say every time I've heard excuses, it is a statement that is justifying why you did not do something. A statement that is used to kind of put forth the idea of you can't do something, or why something is not a possibility. Not because in reality it isn't, but because you, the person, have presupposed X circumstances, X scenarios, and this is why X didn't happen. So personally, that's usually the way that I hear excuses and or have explored my own excuses. And so let's talk about some of the common excuses that many of us are using. So I found this really cool Huffington Post article. It's called 10 Most Common Excuses for Not Reaching Your Goals. It's by Tom Casano. Let's get to it. So what do you think the number one excuse that on this list would be of all common excuses? ... The anticipation. All right, I'll give it to you. Money. Go figure, right? It is America, right? It's always money. Dollar bills, right? So this is an interesting excuse. How does it come into play? So how about this scenario? My name is Anne and I want to start a business, but I don't have any money. There you go. That's a goodie. Or my name is Jeff and I want to grow my business, but I don't have extra money to put into my website design. Good one. Good one. Or my name is Tiffany and I want to buy a bike and I'm 9 years old, but I have no money. Excellent. Do you see how in each of those scenarios, money was not only excuse, but it was not like an actual reality as to why they couldn't move forward with whatever they wanted? Yeah. Over and over again, if you think about every time you hear an excuse said to you, every time you say an excuse, you start to realize how ridiculous you sound, or the person sounds, and also how it's just not true, right? Any excuse that we can come up with. Is it a real reason why you can't move forward? No, it's not. It's something that we're saying because we need to feel better about the kind of obstacle that we're letting conquer us for the moment, but it's not a real excuse, right? A real excuse. Is there such thing as a real excuse? I think that there are challenges. I definitely can concede that. I think that there are obstacles. I think that there are forces at play. I think there are people that will go out of their way to not help you or not support you, but does an actual excuse justify you not moving forward? My little kind of spidey senses are going off saying no. I don't think so. But let's talk about the other common ones, right? Next one. This is a goodie. I don't have time. What do we think about that? Is that an actual real reason why people don't proceed with things. So I don't have time means what? How can we rework that sentence? It means I am not prioritizing my time in the best ability. I am not using my time most efficiently. But is it a matter of you don't actually have time? No, that's not a true statement. Not at all. You have the time. Whether you choose to use the time to do X, Y, or Z is whose job is in enforcing that? You. So when we say, I don't have time to write the book. I don't have time to read every day. I don't have time to work out. Interesting. Okay. See how ridiculous it sounds? Every time we hear an excuse, it actually pisses me off because because people have said excuses so many times in their mind that they actually think it's a reality. And I just think it's just like, I don't know. I just think it's less than, like, we're worthier than the excuses that we use in our life, to be honest. And I just think that the I don't have time bit is really tired and really not true. How many people in this world have been a parent, have started a business, have ... done all of these things, have lived in their car, have been homeless, and have gone on to do XYZ. The I don't have time is really like a tired ass excuse. And I really explore for you to not use it today, the next 7 days, the rest of your life, because it's not a reality. When you think of I don't have time, what you have to start to say is pause. I need to change how I'm using my time. I need to prioritize my time differently. I need to prioritize my needs differently. Then you will what? Have the time to do what you need to do. It's not, I know people are like, oh, it's not that simple, Natasha. Excuses are simply stupid. How about them? How about them apples, right? Like, that's how I would like for you to think about it, because I think the more that you force yourself to really look at the ridiculousness of an excuse, the more likely you are to not use it. Because most people, there's an exception to everything. Most people are not trying to be completely ridiculous in life, right? Most people. Maybe if you're a viral social media star and that's like your bit, cool. I'm all about the hustle. I get it. But if you're actually trying to like realistically, seriously live your life, effectuate change, we actually don't have time for excuses. How about that? We don't have time for excuses. Not because we actually don't, but because it's a derailment. It is a waste of time. Ding, ding, ding. Next one. This is a good one because I think everyone can pretty much relate to this. I'm overwhelmed. Is being overwhelmed an excuse? Absolutely, right? Anything you can use and say can be an excuse. Is it a valid statement? Is it a valid justification for not moving forward with your goals? I'm overwhelmed means what? We are not taking account of the energy we're taking in and the energy we're putting out. So, for instance, if you work a 15-hour day and we only have 24 hours in the day, right? That is a fact that we can kind of work off of because that's what our society has agreed to work within this time construct. So, okay, 24 hours a day. Cool. I'm working 15 hours. I need to sleep 7. Starts to become difficult to fit other things in there, right? So you have to figure out how you prioritize your time, similar to the I don't have time. If you are someone who can get easily overwhelmed, which so many of us do, totally understand. What are we doing with our time? What are we doing with our commitments differently? Maybe you have a full-time job, you're starting a side hustle, you're writing the book, you're part of your church, you are the primary breadwinner or caretaker in your family, ... right? So many of us are wearing so many hats because we're super amazing people. Love it. Awesome. But if you start to get overwhelmed, if you start to resent the life that you're living, is it worth it? Is that what you're on this planet to do? That's a question you have to answer for yourself. And I think that if you honestly think about it, you would say, oh, well, that's kind of illogical for me to be living my life feeling overwhelmed over and over again. Exactly. Yep. So what are we going to do? Right? What are we going to do? And don't worry, I never do a live stream without talking about solutions. Because for me, the idea of bitching and moaning is cute, whatever, but it's not really, being sarcastic. But really, we have problems, we have to have solutions. Problem, solutions. One does not exist without the other. It's a kind of a dual system that we're living in. So if your excuse for the day is, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I challenge you to then say, A, what is specifically overwhelming you? Is it literally everything? Breathing, sitting in the chair, working, talking? What exactly is overwhelming you? How do we backtrack? How do we figure out how to kind of stress the situation? And how do you get unoverwhelmed, right? I don't even think that's a word, but you're getting the drift. You're getting the point. Okay, next. This is a good one. This is not the right time to start. Who's ever used that excuse, right? Oh, I want to start this, but I just not right now. I have to wait. There's things I have to move. Cool, right? Not the right time to start. So is there ever a right time to do anything? Is the right time, is that something that we can find on the clock? Is that something in the calendar that, maybe I've missed it, maybe... No, right? No. You can't look at the clock and say, oh, it's the right time now, starts now. Oh, in the calendar, the third Thursday is the right time. There's no right time. There's no wrong time. Is there more opportunistic times or times that favor you because of other scenarios? Of course. But is there actual right time? No. But I think what you can do is you can kind of look at the landscape of what's going on in your life, in your business, whatever you're kind of approaching or dealing with, and then make deductions as to, for instance, if you're trying to start a business or you're trying to make your company go public, right? You can look at certain factors, things that could lead to you seeing as a certain date or a certain time of the year as a good time for you. Okay, understand. But the general idea of like, hey, I want to get started with life changes, but today is not the right time. That I question, right? That I really question because, change is something that is always happening, whether you are on board or not. It's happening. That's just kind of a part of the life journey that we're living. So if you seriously need to do something, I encourage you to take the not the right time narrative and flip it on its head and try to really figure out, what do I need to happen and why because the why is always important. Why you're doing something is more important than what you're actually doing, because the why is the grounding. It's what makes you propel forward or doesn't, right? If you don't have a why, it's very easy to stop. But if you do have a why and it's clear and it's cemented and grounded in you, you'll keep going. You'll keep moving. So what do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? And what are the factors telling you X time of year, month, is contributing to why you would want to start X date, But if it's not time specific, if it's not conditioned for a certain time of the year and you want to make a change, how about not right now? How about now? Is that an option? Is that something you can concede? I think the answer is yes, 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 yes. All right. I hope you're enjoying the voices, guys. This is like... good acting here, guys. I'm kidding. I actually just speak in different voices just because that's just how my mind works. Woo! Next excuse. Really a good one. Fear. Not the movie with Marky Mark. Sexy. I love that movie. God, his body in that movie is crazy. Side note. Side note, Marky Mark. Hello. Mark Wahlberg. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Fear, not the movie, the real concept. So, how many people get afraid of things? Right? We all get a fear. We always have some type of fear. I could tell you 5 things that scare me. Not right. Like, fear is a very common experience. It's a very common emotion. Is it, though, an excuse not to move forward with a goal? Is that a justification that you can, stand behind and, be like, yeah, I'm afraid, so I'm not moving forward? You could feel good about that? I wouldn't. Again, I still think we're in the ridiculous world. This is ridiculous. I'm afraid to succeed. Oh, okay. I'm afraid to write the book. Oh, okay. I'm afraid to, I'm afraid of nothing, right? You gotta look at the fear and you have to say, yes, I'm afraid. Yes, this is uncomfortable. Yes, this is something that I don't know what's going to result from, but, and the but is important here, but I'm still moving forward. I'm still going to write the book. I'm still going to figure out how to start the business. I'm still going to go on that first date. I'm still going to apply for the new job. I'm still going to move 1,000 miles away. I am afraid, but my fear is not worth not experiencing X. That's really what you have to say. The excuse of I'm afraid doesn't hold weight when it comes to goal achievement and goal setting. Fear is like here, but success and effort and all of that good stuff is here. Always trumps it. Always trumps it. It, like, essentially what I'm saying, and I don't want to be harsh, kind of, but a little bit, like 10%. We'll just leave it at that. Yes, it's okay to be afraid. I get it, right? You're gonna, I mean, whether I say it or not, you're gonna have it. It's just a very natural human thing. Animals are afraid. It's kind of what keeps us alive, right? So it's a part of the experience of being a creature. But I do challenge you to say, I'm not gonna let my fear hold me back. Like, yes, I'm afraid, and I'm still going forward. Just go forward and be afraid, right? If you can't break your fear narrative, you still have to go ahead. I propel you to really say no fear, right? Like, I can do this. Whatever the outcome is going to be the outcome. I'm going to make the best decisions I can. I'm going to try to educate myself continuously. I'm going to surround myself with the right people. I'm going to have a positive attitude, right? You can do and say all the things you need to and try to minimize the fear so that you start to feel less and less afraid, more and more things you do and more things you try. That's my approach to life. That is what I teach my clients through coaching, through the content I put out. But if you're like, F it, Natasha, that is not who I am, which is something else we're going to talk about. So hold on, hold your horses. But not everyone is about minimizing the fear. Not everyone's ready for that because they've said it to be. Can everyone minimize their fear? Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything's possible. I'm a huge proponent of the possibility of everything is anything. Like, it can be anything. But if you decide that's not for you, then I encourage you to go with the, yes, I'm afraid, but I'm still moving forward. If you're of my cloth and you're like, yeah, F that fear, then you're constantly doing things to minimize. You're educating yourself. You're constantly reading. You're reading like your life depended on it. You're constantly networking. You're constantly trying new things. You're constantly pushing yourself, being more uncomfortable. And you are happily reducing the amount of fear in your life. I argue number 2, you decide step 1 or step 2 works for you. Okay? Next, I love this one. I hear this sadly more often than I'd like to. I'm too old or I'm too young, right? So is age an actual excuse? So there are lots of reportings about people who are young and people who are old who are breaking barriers pretty much every day. So when you go out in this world or you go out in these streets and you say, I'm too old to do this, I'm too young to do this, is that not ridiculous? Woo, woo, woo. I wish I had a bell. Actually, I need to get a bell and I need to put a label of ridiculous on it and I'm going to ring it. So that, or maybe I'll create a ringtone and I'll do that and I'll just press that every time someone says garbage to me because I'm too old or I'm too young is ring, 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 ring. Ridiculous, 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 ridiculous. Constantly ridiculous. FYI, that's my favorite word. It's the word that I've been saying, probably the word I will say most in my entire life. I've been saying it since I was 6 years old. I've loved the word ridiculous. People are more ridiculous than they need to be. Situations are more ridiculous than they need to be. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Cut the bullshit, really. I'm too old, I'm too young, you could totally replace that and get into race. You could get into this. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I'm white. Oh, I'm Hindu. Oh, I'm Christian. Right? Like, You could say anything. But believe you and me, your age is not stopping you from doing this. Whether you want to do something or not is really up to you. How old or how young you are is not standing in the way, babies. So let's keep it moving on this ridiculous train station that we're approaching. Next, this is a goodie. This is a goodie. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Don't know if you caught it. It's just who I am. So what does this mean? So this is something that I used to say, and I've caught myself and I've had to stop, right? So growing up, I grew up in Manhattan. Woohoo! Shout out to my New Yorkers. New York City, baby, right? And so where I grew up in Stuyvesant Town. I did not really go outside a lot. I was all about the books. I was all about the learning. I was all about the TV and the movies, writing poetry, creating storylines with my Barbies, right? All of that good stuff growing up. And then what did I not do? I didn't run. I didn't really understand why people chose to sweat. I didn't really understand why they were doing all of that good stuff. And what did I then turn that narrative into? Oh, I don't really exercise. That's just not who I am. Ridiculous, right? Ridiculous. Ring the bell. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Just because you used to be XYZ, you're saying that means you can't do XYZ in the future? Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Like, I probably shouldn't have the bell because I would literally ring it all day for people. Ding, 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 ding. Like, it would be like, okay, Tasha, stop. Like, I'm not even speaking to you right now. Because is it not ridiculous to say that your history predetermines your future? Now, am I going to be completely idealistic and say that your history or your nurturing has no effect on your life? Of course it has an effect. How you are raised, the experiences you have in your past, absolutely play a role in the narrative for which you walk into in your future. Is it the whole role? Is it like a predetermined book that's already written because you did this and you experienced this and you look this way? No, that's what I'm trying to say. That essentially, if your life is a book, the first 5, 6, 10 chapters, right? Yeah. They were written a certain way. Things went down a certain way. Certain people were involved. But the next half of the book, you're telling me it can only work based on the first half? No, babies. No. Nope. Try again. Ridiculous. 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 Like, no. The other half is not written yet. So what did I have to do? I had to shut my mouth. I had to shut my trap hole and I had to stop talking that bullshit because why was I doing that? I was saying, oh, well, because I didn't run in the past, it means that's not something I can do now. Nope. That was an excuse because I didn't want to get in control of my healthy living habits that I needed to change and implement in my life. So was it an excuse? Yes. Was it even a good one? No, it's really not. I think that's a bad one. Oh, well, this happened 30 years ago, so, can't happen now. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Cut the crap. Cut the crap on that one. Guys, come on. And if you disagree, I'd love to hear why, but cut the crap. Next one. Oh, this is a good one. It's just too hard. Just too hard, guys. It's just too hard. I can't. It's just too hard to be president. Oh, well, it's just too hard to be the first astronaut. Oh, it's just too hard to, make the Navy. Oh, it's just too hard to be an engineer. Oh, it's just too hard to write this book. Oh, it's just too hard to make this album. Oh, it's just too hard to book your first modeling gig. Oh, right. Like, how many people have achieved something that was really hard to achieve? Hey, I passed the New York bar exam the first time I took it. You know how many people who told me, hey, I couldn't even get into law school, or I shouldn't go, or I couldn't pass the bar exam? Yeah. There are a lot of hard things that we have to do that is sometimes can be presented to us as insurmountable, to be honest. Oh, no, you can't get an A in this. Oh, you can't do this. No, you can't model. No, you can't have your own radio show. No. Right. Okay, cool. Right. And what do people do? They frickin' surprise the world. They go out and they do things and they achieve and they break the glass ceiling and they keep pushing and they keep showing the rest of us just how powerful, just how much can be achieved in this world. So it's just too hard bit is super tiring as an excuse. It is total ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Yeah, life is hard. Just in case that wasn't clear to you, let me break that sweet bubble for you today. Life is hard, and we're going to keep living it, essentially. It's hard. A lot of things are hard. Maybe not even everything, but I like to say everything's hard just because it can feel that way, right? I went to the gym. My legs are freaking sore. It is challenging to stand. It is challenging to sit right now. I still got to live my life. I still got appointments. I still got calls. I still got things to do. And we're going to keep moving, right? We're just going to keep moving. It's hard, but you can push through. And if you don't think you can, then maybe you won't. And that's on you. And you need to own that and stop putting out the idea that hard is an actual validation for not moving forward. You are the reason why you're not moving forward. You and you alone. I know. Now that's not sugar-coated, babies, but it's the truth. The truth is hard. It's hard to hear. It's hard to accept. It's hard to say. But we keep doing it. We keep moving on. Next. This is not something necessarily that has plagued me like too much recently, but I would say as a child and in my younger years or earlier in my career, yes. What will others think? This is an interesting excuse, right? Because this really applies to a lot of us who may be similar to me, right? That you were doing X and you've changed directions. So now what will family think, right? What will the husband, the spouse think? What will the friends think? What will coworkers think, right? Like, yeah, I think the care for others I think it's natural. I think it's, a lot of us are caught up in that compare game. So not only just comparing ourselves to what other people are doing, but also the comparison of, well, what will others think of us, right? That whole bit. What do I say to that? Again, similar to the fear narrative, what others think. If you're like me, then you start to reduce how much you care about that. And I'm about at 0%. I could give a flying hoot what you think about me or what I'm doing. Because again, are you paying my bills? You're paying my mortgage? Are you giving me money to eat? No. So go ahead with your life, right? Like, as I'm not doing the same for you. So I'm not quite sure why we're in each other's like business like that, but whatever. Maybe you care more than 0%. Maybe you care like 30%. And this 30% may not sound like a lot, but it is kind of holding you back from certain stuff. How can we reduce that? Again, does that person's thought, does it affect how you make money? Does it affect the things, opportunities you're doing? Is this person somehow dictating your level of happiness? No, these are all things under your control. So we have to start to think about this, say things, and constantly remind ourselves so we reduce that down. And hopefully you get down to 0%, because for me, the minute I stopped caring was I felt kind of like freed, released. Like, did any of you guys see the X-Men movie Apocalypse? When Jean releases and he says, "Let go, Jean, release your powers," and she just becomes this screaming, beautiful orange yellow bird in the sky that says, "Ah!" Right? Yes. The minute you stop caring what other people think, you can release your power. You can release your glory. You can achieve and keep moving forward. But if we keep this kind of bit of, well, I don't know, what will Anne say? What will Johnny say? What will my grandparents say? We're constrained. It's like having chains on you. Do you want to be chained or free? It's up to you, babes. Like, it's up to you. I feel like the phoenix. So I'm just like, yes, all day long, right? But I understand we're all at different places. I encourage you, release your power, release your glory, release yourself from what other people think. It doesn't matter, because they do not dictate your level of happiness. They do not live for you. Why are you living for them? Release yourself from that excuse. That is a life changer right there. And then the last one on the list, and I'm going to wrap it up because we are getting close to the time, is, what if I fail? Simple. What if I fail? What if I succeed? Which do you enjoy thinking about more? Personally, success, right? What will happen if I get this? What will I do? Who will write about this? Right? But what if I fail? What alternatives are attached to that? So how much will I cry? How much ice cream am I eating? Right? Like, I mean, it's kind of a sad story. What do you prefer? Happy, sad? Happy, sad? Happy. Right? What if I fail? What if I succeed? It goes both ways. It's like flipping a coin. So if you want to continue to enjoy negativity, enjoy sadness, enjoy fear, have at it. But that excuse, flip it on its head. What if I succeed? What if I do write the book? What if I do get the new job? What if I do have the baby? What if I do move? What if I do become this? Right? Enjoy that beautiful narrative. So now this is the time, and I want to make sure I get to this so that you have this. How do you stop using the excuse machine? Couple of steps. Is it going to be easy? No. Are you going to keep doing it? Hell's yeah. First, admit that you use the excuse machine. I've used the excuse machine. I can't tell you for the rest of my life I'll never use an excuse, nor do I think you can. But the point is to identify if you're an excuse maker. Excuse maker. Most people are. Cut the bullshit. You've made an excuse. Next, what is the driving force? For me, I would say the biggest excuses I've ever made in my life come down to physical fitness and health and healthy living. For me, the idea of changing who I am and changing my body, it seems like it's a painful experience as I'm sitting in pain right now. But the pain is going to be worth it because it allows more agility. It allows me to move forward with other health goals that I have and other lifestyle goals that I have. So, yes, it's scary. Yes, it can be painful, but it's not worth not moving forward. And that's really kind of what we have to figure out. It's a weighing kind of game that you're playing. And like, yes, it can be scary. Yes, it can be fearful. Yes, it can totally change your narrative. But what is the flip side of who you can be and what you will do is glorious, amazing. Release your power. Release the chains, right? Next. What do you need to be more successful? What do you need to stop making excuses, right? So do you need more money? Do you need more support? Do you need more resources? I think the identification of resources really helps us to stop cutting the bullshit, to help cut the bullshit and to stop making these excuses. So I don't have money, I don't have time. Well, what if you change your calendar? What if you found a way to apply for certain grants? What if you got investors, right? So identifying resources, I really think helps to cut down the excuses, but you got to figure out what are the driving forces so then you can what? Problem solve. Problem solution. Gotcha. It's like magic. Woohoo! Create a schedule, guys. It's really great to talk about these things. It's really great to talk and identify kind of what's the shit that's holding us back. But unless you start to put shit in your calendar, unless you start to have daily change, we're just going to keep talking. Talk. And what is that? Ridiculous. I mean, I could do that all day. Ridiculous, right? But I don't think you want me to do that all day. So if you want to stop the madness, create a schedule. I really implore you to say, so for instance, pick one of the excuses or all of them if you happen to be running life that way and you got a lot to work on. That's fine. We all are on our different journeys. And fear, right? Fear. Okay. Let's work with fear. How do we calendar dealing fear with our schedule? Well, what are the driving forces? So fear, for me, I would say the fear of not being able to make a change, a long-standing life change, healthy living for a long-standing I guess way to live is or maybe let me change the sentence. So fear of not succeeding with my health goals. How about that? That's English. That makes sense. Okay. Well, we could fear that, or we could what? We could make sure that we walk every day, even if it's just in your house, right? We could make sure that we do some stretches. How about we do 3 set of squats a day, right? Or 1 set of squats a day. What if we go to the gym 3 times a week, or at least the weekends? If you can make an absolute commitment of 2 days, but you really want to get it up to 3 or 4, we book it into the calendar. So that Saturday, Sunday, always gym, but we're going to be awesome. We're going to do it Wednesday and we're going to do it on Mondays too, right? Like, put it in the freaking calendar. Drinking the smoothies, Mondays, Wednesday, Friday. Like, put it in the calendar what you need to do and what we need to do to conquer the fear, to conquer the what if I don't fit, what if I don't succeed, what if nonsense. All right. Then the next couple, and I know we're over, so I appreciate your time. Bear with me, almost done. catch yourself in the act, right? When someone's asking you or talking to you and you're about to give an excuse, just, sorry, I was just about to say something, but actually I meant to say, catch yourself in the frickin' act, guys. Be conscientious about the words coming out of your mouth. Think before you speak. You ever had a parent who used to say that? I used to have parents who said that a little bit less nicely and a little bit more Jamaican. You must think before you speak. And I'm just seeing nonsense, right? So, okay, think before we speak. When we think before we speak, we can catch ourselves. And when you're about to give an excuse, when you're about to talk some shit, catch yourself. Sorry, I was about to say something. However, I meant to say ... catch yourself. And you don't even have to say sorry. I'm just saying sorry. But, catch yourself in the act, guys. Next, don't give up when it's hard. Maybe you have a bad day. Okay. What if you have a bad week? Okay. Last week was terrible for me and the hubby at the gym. I'll be honest. I'll keep it real. It was cold and I used, it's cold outside. And I needed to get it together, right? I made it up for it on Saturday and Sunday. I'll tell you that. But get it together, Natasha, right? And so it's hard. I admit when it's hard. Okay, it's hard, but I'm not going to give up for the rest of my life. I'm not going to not do things, right? Keep moving forward. Be kind enough to yourself to accept when you're having a challenge, but what can we do next time? Okay, next time I can say, yeah, it's cold, but I can do one day, right? Out of 5, I can do one day. That's not that hard, right? I can do that. So set goals that can work for you even in the toughest of times, right? But keep going. Bilbo Baggins never gave up, neither shall I. Next, celebrate every day you don't use an excuse. Please, 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 please. We don't celebrate our victories enough. We love to dog ourselves when we F up. We love to be like, I was a shithead. I'm such a stupid ass. All this crazy negative talk that we do. Crazy. Crazy as F. Celebrate when you're awesome. Hey guys, I woke up. Awesome. Yes. What do I write in my gratitude journal? Every day, I'm thankful that I woke up. It means I have another opportunity to win. It's another opportunity to try to do something better with my life. Every day, celebrate the victories from waking up to having a cup of tea to eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know how hard it is to eat all your meals? It's a challenge. I celebrate every time I do that because I miss meals a lot of time and that's not healthy, right? All of those good stuff. And you got to figure out what are the victories for you. But it's simple things, guys. It could be just meeting your walking goals. I walk 6,000 steps, right? Victory. Do a victory dance, right? Do your boomerang. Get it on. Next, bring your tribe along. And so I say this because I think some of the hardest things that we do in life really do require a tribe of support for us. And maybe you don't have it, but maybe you do have people in your life and they're really happy to give you their opinion about what you're doing and who you are and ... Good effing for them. But if these people cannot support you when you try to say, hey, and I'm about to give you guys a challenge before we end this, is I'm not going to use an excuse for the next 7 days. That's my challenge for you. Don't use excuses for the next 7 days. If you can go the next 7 days without using excuses, you can probably achieve something that many people are incapable of doing, right? Because they refuse to dedicate the time to do this. If you can do this and you have people in your life standing in your way of doing this, F them. I'm telling you, man. You've got to take out the trash. I've talked about this numerous occasions in other content that I've put out here. You've got to make sure that the people around you are helping you for your goals. If they're not helping you, they're hurting you. It's not an in-between, they're gray bullshit. Black or white. You must help or you hurt. 1 out of 2. So, are they helping you or are they hurting you? What are they? Figure it out, put a list together, and cut the crap out. Now, you don't necessarily have to send them messages saying, we can no longer speak anymore, ... I mean, depends on how formal you want to get, boom booms. But all I know is maybe you don't respond to a text from a person who you know if you're like, hey, I'm trying not to use excuses. And they're like, girl, everybody uses excuses. That's stupid, right? Maybe don't text that person this week. Right? Just things like that. Just like really clear the space for the proper landing you're trying to make here and make that plane arrive where it's going to need to arrive. But you can do this. That's my challenge. Next 7 days, no excuses. Can you do it? Can you do it? No excuses. You can do it. Next, I want you to document the process. Please tag Dressing Roommate, tag me, Natasha Nurse, along. If you like to post stuff on social media, if you want to put things in the comments, tag me so that I can, support and champion you. Because I want to make sure that I'm giving you the resources and the support you need. Because maybe you say, you know what, Natasha, I don't have anyone in my life to support me. Well, guess what? I'm here. I'm here to support you. So tag me so that I know that you're doing this. You can tag me on Facebook. You can tag me on Instagram. You can tag me on Twitter. You can tag me on YouTube. If you're like, where are all your social media handles? Go to dressingroom8.com. You'll see all my handles there. Here on Facebook, it's facebook.com/dr8fashion, right? So tag Dressing Room 8 and let me champion you. Let me be one of the people to support you. Okay. And then lastly, if you have additional questions or comments or things that you felt like I should have talked about, could have talked about, something led you to have a question, let's have a conversation, boo. You know I love to talk. I'm over my time, so I love to talk. Girl, I love to talk. Next, if you have specific questions and you want to have a one-on-one with me, I do free consultations all day, every day. Holler at your girl. Go to dressingroom8.com to schedule a session to chat with me. We can chat for 30 minutes. We can get your life together. We can talk about how to start that book, how to start your own show, how to, do whatever you want to do. But let's have a conversation and how I can be a resource and give you kind of a personalized action plan that you're looking for to move forward with your goals. And then share this video. Share this with anyone that you think would be benefited from having a real conversation about excuses. Because I'm really excited about this. I wanted to really make sure that I give you the content you need in this program. So I hope that you've gotten that. I hope that you feel energized and excited to cut the crap and to stop using excuses. Hashtag no excuses. Put that in your post when you're sharing shit. No excuses. Cut it out. Right? Cut it out. Because why? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous not to. All right. And then lastly, thank you. I appreciate your time. If you watch this on the live or if you watch this on the replay, your time is valuable. It's the most valuable asset you have in your life. Thank you for giving me any moment of it because I appreciate it. And I really hope that you got what you needed out of this. And if you want to know my next programs, I'm doing lives all day long. No, I'm kidding. I do them very frequently. I'm very active on social media. I'm very active with events. Go to dressingroom8.com. I'll put that in the comment section at the end of this so that you can get that. But dressingroom8.com so you can visit the website, go to events, and you can see all the upcoming lives that I'm doing, all the people I'm spending time with and doing programs with. If you want to do a program with me, if you're into a collaboration, girl, I'm all about that too. So hit me up. All right. You'll see my email address at the bottom of the website. It's Natasha at dressingroom8.com. But you can also just schedule a session to talk with me. And with that, thank you. No excuses. We can live the best lives that we want. Living my best life. There's a reason why that hashtag exists, guys. Because there are no excuses. No excuses. All right. I'll see you soon. Bye.